Hi, I'm Barbara Wesley, your host, and we are starting a new program here in Gallup called Here, There, and Yonder. So it will be a program that has a variety of things, not just the things in Gallup, but the things that may occur in other counties throughout the state of New Mexico, even things that may not even be in New Mexico. So we look forward to your tuning in to Here, There, and Yonder at some point. So tonight we have Jesse Baker. Butler, and his wife Erin Butler.
Daughter, Erin.
Okay, sorry. Erin, his daughter. And so we are here to talk about a group. You want to introduce the group to the audience?
You bet. Our group is Rockin' J Reawakenings. We're a New Mexico-based 501c3 nonprofit set up and based solely for the help of veterans and children. We're located out in Pruitt, but we do things both in McKinley and Cibola counties, and we spread out pretty well.
Super. Now, you're the daughter, and you're the dog trainer.
Yep.
Okay. So what are some of the things that you do out there at this reawakening? Because, you know, I've been awakened, but I don't know that I've been reawakened. So tell me about it.
Well, the reawakening has to happen after you've had a dark spot or a dark patch, and you need growth beyond that. So that's where the name came from, a chance to be reborn and live again, hopefully to a better life. We try to help people out a lot with that. The things that we do, trying to help people both in our community and families, like I said, we're mainly veteran-based, so we do a lot of veteran programs. We do, of course, the dog training, which Erin's in charge of, along with my other daughter, Amanda. They do a really good job at that, helping people with service dogs, emotional support dogs, help when they need to learn about the ADA laws and all the other things that come into play. You have to do all this stuff legally, because sooner or later there's a lawyer involved. We also do VSO work, Veteran Service Officer work, which is when we help veterans, spouses, survivors, and things like that, filing for their benefits and keeping everything squared away with the VA and the government so that they can get the benefits they deserve and work so hard for, and them sort of things. So we do a lot of that. We do a bit of equine therapy. Most of our horses right now are just kind of like just therapy horses where people can come down and rub on them and love on them. We, on a private basis, do equine therapy and help people with PTSD and physical disabilities learn how to be more mobile and gain balance, as well as work with a lot of children. We'd like to work with more ADHD and things like that, where it can really help them. The dogs are really good for kids like that too. But everything we do is focused on family and community and trying to rebuild our community to the places where it used to be and have people start understanding the things they need to do in their day-to-day life so they can live happier lives.
Well, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder is a challenge not only for the veteran but for the veteran's family as well.
Very, very much so, yeah. It's a horribly debilitating disease depending on how bad a person has it. But it can be managed, and if you can learn the things that trigger you, and you can get a head start when you're knowing that you're going into a point of a lot of anxiety or stress, and you're not rushed into a scared spot, then you can manage it. And there's some tactics and things and training that you can do to calm yourself down and make yourself more aware of the situation, where you can work through it. And that's our goal, is to give people more tools in their toolbox, so when they come to these moments, they're able to work through them. And we do that with the dogs. Are really good for that, because the dogs can feel it. You know, as humans, we get so wrapped up in something's going on and this and that, and I'm dealing with this and I'm dealing with that, and you don't notice how anxious you're getting. And a good dog will just sit on your lap and let you know it's time to calm down, and he might lick you on the face and help calm all your senses and get you back to a point where you can deal with things in a logical, calm manner and not throw things across the room.
Sure. Now, you're a dog trainer, so how long have you been doing that, Erin?
I started earlier this year, so yeah, I've been a dog trainer for 8 months now.
Okay.
I went from somebody who had only had a couple dogs, and then I just went to a couple classes with our senior trainer, the person who's training us, and I was like, you know what, The process of just working with a dog and training a dog, even if it's just the basics, is really good for them, but it's also really good for you because it demands that same consistency, that same patience, and it's not, you tend to be harder on yourself, but it's harder to be like mad at the dog because they're fluffy and they're doing and they'll do anything for you.
Well, we acquired, or I should say I acquired a dog from our shelter in Grants, and this dog came from either Acoma or Laguna. I don't remember where, but we put him through some training. Mm-hmm. And the things that he learned that very first week are still some of the things that he is. I don't use them often. For example, he loves ice cream, right? So I will put that ice cream down on the floor away from him, and he'll sit there and just wait and wait. I can walk away from the ice cream. I can come back to the ice cream. I can walk away, go into another room, and he will just sit there until I say, okay. And then he'll go for his little ice cream. Yeah. So
that's everything that the dog training is about, and a lot of life training that we do as well. It's about boundaries, and it's about respect. Without boundaries, there can be no respect. And the first thing you teach a dog is boundaries. You can't pee in the house. You have to sit here. Speaking of boundaries, you can't be under the table. But there's always certain boundaries in life. You can't walk off a cliff. That's a boundary. You get to the bottom, it's going to hurt. There's a lot of boundaries in life that as people we have to respect, and that's the first thing you teach to a dog is what they can or can't do is they adjust to your world that they're living in. So boundaries is the basis of almost everything that we teach. Okay. And it sounds like your dog knows them well.
Well, sometimes. One of the things that we have, I probably need some help with this because we have a long hall at our office, and as long as I'm walking, he will walk right beside me, okay, without a leash, right?
Yeah.
But you take him outside and he pulls, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm breaking him of that habit of pulling because I don't want to fall again. So I need help with that. So maybe you can help me.
Yeah, we know how to sort that out.
Okay.
Because that's the thing is, the thing about training is it has to be very generalizable. So it can't just be, like dogs tend to get in this thing where like I only have to listen in the house or I only have to listen when I have my leash on. But you've got to teach them that, again, that boundaries, like it doesn't just stop with the leash or it doesn't just stop in the house. You've got to listen to me outside, especially, with the pulling on the leash and the recall. That's life for you, that's life for them. Right. It's life and death.
Right, it is. Well, we've got several things that we want to cover, so we're going to take a quick break, come back to you again. And by the way, you've got a pup with you, don't you?
Yeah, this is Wiley. He's the basis of our Australian Shepherd program. And he's one of the dogs that we got out of Oklahoma. He's bred a lot of other really good dogs and working lines and done a lot of good things here in the state. A lot of people got his kids out working cows and doing some other, well, I don't think he has any kids that are service dogs yet, but a lot of good working dogs.
Okay. And that's important too, isn't it?
It is. There are more day-to-day tasks that a dog can handle that a lot of people don't understand, and they can do a lot of things for you and help out a lot.
That's right.
Especially with wild, crazy cows.
Okay, so we'll come right back, so don't go away because we've got more to share with you on Here, There, and Yonder. Well, we're back with Here, There, and Yonder, and our guest this evening is Jessie Butler. I'm getting it right, and Manda Butler, right? And one of the things I wanted to point out is that we have a bi-county fair.
We do.
And last year, what did you do that started an event that we've had for years and years and years, but had been dropped?
Well, we didn't necessarily start it last year. We do the Pruitt Labor Day Rodeo right next to in the same spot as the bi-county fair. It has been continually going for 69 years. It was almost dropped a couple of times, but it was saved by a couple of good community members more than once. So it's still going, and this is our third year doing it. This last Labor Day, and it went really good. We do the kids rodeo and the open rodeo, and then Sunday we did a cowboy draw pot roping. Had a lot of good time, a lot of new entries. the Central Navajo Rodeo Association came over and brought a lot of their guys out of Arizona. So we're getting pretty popular, even the state over. And it was a really good event that did a lot of good for the community and brought a lot of people into knowing who we are and the things we can do. We had other veterans organizations out there with us. The New Mexico State VA came out there, the State VA, and a bunch of other places came out, introduce themselves and get to see some vets. And the hardest part about that stuff is getting into the community where these people are so you can find them to help them.
Sure.
It's kind of like fishing.
Right. Well, I have a friend who raises horses, and she's a very avid person when it comes to horses, and she'd been out there and she said that the rodeo grounds were in terrible shape at one time. So you've gone in there and you've repaired all of that so that it's safe for those that are participating.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and we're not the only one that done that. The Pruitt Roping Club, who actually owns that property, has done quite a bit. Thelma Elkins and Johnny Elkins, Billy Moore, they've all chipped in and done a good job at really fixing up that property, and we've lended a hand where we can and done our best with the grounds. And we try to keep it clean and safe for everybody, but that's a big place to clean up, let me tell you.
It is, sure it is.
But yeah, it's an effort of a lot of people, but it sure is coming back around.
It
still could use a coat of paint or two here or there.
Well, what impressed me, we were there with the 5 and under to videotape that. And my thought was, after I watched that event, my feeling was if we had more parents and adults that took that interest in their young child, we would have a different world, wouldn't we?
It certainly would be a different community. And this is something that used to be a little more common. More people used to ride horses, and more people used to be outdoors all the time. And they would naturally teach these things like they were taught to me out of Blue Water Lake where I grew up. You naturally get taught how to do things and how to work and how to be around these. And there's just a myriad of things you have to know in order to be safe around an animal or a chainsaw or fence posts or even baling or barbed wire can be pretty tricky if you don't know how to handle
it. Sure, it can be. Right.
So it is, and you brought up the most important thing to me is that the parents have to be involved, and if we can get more parents involved with these events that we're doing, we do a weekly open arena night and a family fun night where people can come out every Friday. And they can bring their own horses, or maybe they could borrow one of ours, and maybe a kid can run a barrel pattern or get to learn about it. And we're doing a lot. We're trying to help get in touch with the 4-H guys and get the horse program going back up through the 4-H and some of the county things they do there. The dog training school they have over in Albuquerque that Amanda went to 2 years ago. I think it was about 2 years ago she went to that dog training program. And they do such wonderful things for the kids. But it does. The parents have to have a level of excitement and a level of action.
That's right.
that naturally leads their children into doing the same things. It's teach by example.
Right.
It's what you do is what your children's going to do.
That's true.
So you have to do that.
Well, Amanda, how long have you been a dog trainer?
I've been training our dogs for a couple years, and Reawakenings I started, I think, December.
Okay. So almost a year here at Reawakenings, but 2 years. So what is the most challenging thing that you face when you're dealing with a dog that you're wanting to train?
The most challenging thing would probably be trying to find their personality and trying to match your personality with that so they are excited to work and train.
Well, I took my dog to training in Albuquerque when I first got him, and the person told me, if we can train you, then we can train the dog. And so I had to learn things that I had never been taught in order to be able to consistently work with my dog. So it's about training, and I'd like to see, when my children were young and they had a pet, they had to go through, there was a 4-H program that trained the dogs, and my children had to go through that training in order to have a dog, because that was the way it was.
And that's how it should be, because the dog, no matter how well the dog is trained, you still have to be in charge of that dog and command that dog and set those boundaries. And also for your children, because kids need a lot of boundaries too. That helps. But yeah, you know, the handler is just as important, if not twice so much, as the dog itself.
Sure.
Dogs are easy to train. Humans are really hard to retrain.
Right, we are. I know that for a fact. But Amanda, what I'd like to see is this program, we're going to be airing this, putting this on our website. So it'll be on our website so those throughout the state can see this, not just here live tonight here in Gallup, but we're going to be promoting this in Grants as well. So hopefully we'll have some dog training in Grants coming up soon.
Yeah, we're actually going to be starting that next week, Tuesday at 3:30 at the Grants Dog Park, which is kind of hid. It's hard to find. We're going to try and improve the signage. And Reawakenings has been talking to the people at the Humane Society, Sherry, and they said it's okay for us to start making some improvements down there. And a little bit of it's kind of dilapidated. So we're going to start improving it and making it sure it's safe for the handlers and the dogs. Maybe put down a couple of new coats of paint and fix things up a bit. But I think it's a great spot, and I really hope everybody comes out so that everybody can learn a little bit.
That's right.
And like all of the stuff that we do, there's never a fee. It doesn't ever cost anything. We do this out of the kindness of, well, her heart. I make her do it because, well, she's good at it. But we don't charge for anything we do. So if anybody ever wants to come out and learn something, we're glad to help.
Okay. Well, Amanda, so thank you so much for taking this time Tuesday evening in Grants. You're going to be there to do some dog training. Super. And we're going to take another quick break, so don't go away, because Here, There, and Yonder is right here in Gallup.
My friend and companion, Mark, not companion like companion. This is my friend and co-worker, Matt Metzler, who runs our self-defense classes for us, as well as does some of our dog training. He's a Somali war vet and done a lot of good things for the community out here, helped a lot of people, and he's really interested in helping out a lot of the women and children that are out here in McKinley and Cibola counties that could use a little bit of safety and a way to defend themselves on hard times.
Sure. Well, welcome, Matt.
Thank you.
That's, there's a welcome Matt, right? Was that too much?
No. He called me Mark, which everybody does.
Me too.
Oh.
No, I'm giving a hard time.
Okay. Well, I came from a very, very serious family, and it wasn't until my son came along that he taught me. And so, how men tease one another? Well, I get teased from time to time, and I say, okay, remember it's coming back, but I don't want to see those crocodile tears when it happens.
What goes around comes around.
Yeah. That's a cry on your show.
Right.
Just be gentle.
Anyway, welcome, and share with our audience what you do.
Well, pretty much just got started with the end of last year, maybe November or somewhere around there. So anyway, I got the idea, like most people get ideas from other people, and you take what's good and what seems to make sense and try to make it work. So I learned from a couple of my instructors over the years. I trained here and there, started out doing some jiu-jitsu early on, taekwondo before that, and I got into kickboxing more than anything, and which got my son, who's now 22, into martial arts. And I just found out over the years that in doing that, and especially through my son, because you, like you say, you learn from your kids sometimes more than anybody, right? It was very valuable in a lot of ways for him, and of course for me. I would teach him when I would go to class somewhere, and then he would go to the kids' classes, and it helped our interactions, father and son, and it helped him in real life situations defend himself. And it's helped me over the years. And I learned from one of my instructors who was teaching a women's self-defense class a couple years ago, and he asked me to come and help as an assistant to him. He's been doing martial arts since for like 45, almost 50 years, or 50 years. And just seeing the students in that class, the ladies that came in there that didn't have any background in self-defense, martial arts, didn't know how to throw a punch. And seeing after a few weekend classes consistently, after maybe 4 to 6 weeks, the change that it made in them, and how they approached things when they came to class, and how much I learned from working with them. In other words, it was a different dynamic, you're teaching someone in a different manner. It's not a bunch of guys or young guys. We all learn differently. Men and women are definitely different, especially young guys. So seeing them learn and knowing that I was learning a lot from that, it kind of just jump-started me into wanting to move into teaching more, which I hadn't done in that capacity. So when we got together, knowing that all these problems exist out here in our community with safety of kids, women, specifically girls and women, and bullying and every other aspect of different instances where people need to know how to defend themselves or feel confidence when they're subjected to somebody's ridicule or beyond that. How to assess a situation and how to be aware. Just having that awareness and kind of confronting that when you train ahead of time is a big asset. So we just started working together on it. And it just seemed to fit with what the ranch was doing, and just another aspect to add to it, another avenue to get to veterans and their kids. And again, it's not just veterans, but I look at it from a veteran standpoint because I am one. And just hoping that the more involvement we get, the more that'll translate to community.
You know what I'm getting a sense of, and I could, if I'm off base, tell me, but I'm seeing how we can come and make each other whole.
That's exactly it. We're all missing a couple of little pieces in our lives.
Well, okay, now don't step on my toes. Careful there. but yes, I see this approach is that if we can help each other to be what we were created to be, then we can go forward, not only empowering ourselves, but empowering other people as well.
That's right. Everybody you empower, then in turn empowers somebody else. And that's what I believe the definition of community is, and that's a word we use all the time, is we're building a community. A community is a large family. Everybody in the family has bad days and bad times. And somewhere along the way, America lost the point where they help people stand up. Nowadays, everybody just pushes them down and ridicules them and all this other stuff. We help people come back up. We find the people that need a hand and give them that. And it comes from many different ways. We have a very diverse program because there's so many things people need. And it's hard to even get all that to the right people. So.
Sure. And with post-traumatic stress disorder, it can come in, we think about it impacting veterans, but someone could have a real tragic accident, spousal abuse. I mean, there are all kinds of things that can cause post-traumatic stress. So those are some things that you work on with your program, with the horses and the dogs. And so I guess I would say that almost anyone could come and benefit in addition to our veterans.
If there's anyone that ever needed help, we would stand up to help them immediately. We definitely don't care if a person is a veteran or family of a veteran or that, or young or old. Anybody that needs help, we're here to help at any time.
Right. So how can someone reach you?
There's a lot of different ways. We've got my phone number, 505-409-7764. Our other director, Mark, his phone number is 505-331-2260. You can get hold of us, email us, reawakeningsinc@gmail.com. We're on Facebook. That's the easiest spot to find us and get the most up-to-date info because my wife's on Facebook a lot. And that's just Rockin' J Reawakenings, or facebook.com/rockin.j.reawakenings. Our website is reawakenings.rockin-j.com, which I know is a lot of words. I apologize, everybody. But you can get hold of us at any time, at any way. There's also Zuni Mountain Pond in Thoreau, where I work at, and you can come by there anytime and talk in person, or come to any one of the classes that we have at any of the places. We're doing self-defense classes and dog training here at Ford Park in Gallup, starting tomorrow at 6. That's Thursday. Also, like we talked about, you're going to be in the Grants Dog Park Tuesdays at 3:30. Our main base of operations is out in Pruitt, right off County Road 19, which is right next to the power plant. You can take exit 63 right off the I-40 and go 2 miles north, and we're right there on the right. You'll see the flags. We're pretty easy to find. Come by in person. As good as anything else. We're happy to talk to anybody.
Okay. Well, one of the biggest things I see, and help me if I'm off base, but what I see is financial support is a need for your program.
For sure. Yeah, there's, like I said, we do all this out of our own pockets on our own dime, just trying to help people with what we have. We got some pretty meager beginnings, but we've had a few people help out, and we've had some donations, a few companies here around Gallup and through that have really stepped up and helped out, especially with the rodeo and things like that. But we're probably need another $20,000 just to finish our facility there at Pruitt to make it where it's able to be anything, as well as a bunch of volunteer hours and things like that. So there's a lot that we need to do. There's not a lot of grants out there to do the kind of stuff that we do, and trying to find the right grant and all that's quite a minefield and that sort of thing. So we're trying to reach out to the right foundations and stuff like that. We know there's a bunch of them out there that help places like us out, but they're hard to find.
Sure. Well, if you know of any organization that would assist in this project, you need to contact any of these people. Jess is at 505-409-7764. If you're a grant writer and you want to participate, or if you want, maybe you're a horse trainer, maybe you are a dog trainer, or you want to just be involved, you want to go and see what they do, remember that they're available. And Jess is the one right now that I can give you his number. It's 505-409-7764. And we've got Matt. Okay, that's
Mark,
right.
Matt. Can I add one thing to that?
You may.
I would like to invite anybody who would like to help out with the self-defense program, if they're instructors, if they would like volunteer time to come and help, any class, anytime. The schedule is going to be up with all the contact information Jess mentioned. The more the merrier. Again, community. We've got a lot of martial artists in this community, in this area, that are very well schooled, trained, experienced. If they want to put in some time out there and volunteer as we grow and get more kids and stuff like that, a lot of these kids can't afford to go to schools.
Sure.
A lot of these kids can't afford uniforms. A lot of these kids can't afford belt tests. But if they
Right.
can get gas money, or their parents can get them to a class, we're going to teach them for free.
Okay.
And I need as much help as anybody else involved with all the other things we have. All the help in the world is appreciated at any time, and I really mean that. We look forward to having that community involvement, and it's going to help us, again, community. That's, to me, is building bridges. You get somebody that teaches one thing or another, they come in and help. They see what they've got going on, they like it. It just passes the word around. More people get involved. More people get to meet each other who wouldn't meet each other otherwise in the community, from whatever different backgrounds, financial, racial, whatever, all these stupid things that we divide each other up into. I think that closes that gap up quite a bit. If your kids are together and they're training, you're there as parents, you get a moment to talk to each other and appreciate what's going on, and then get involved, and it bridges a lot of different avenues of the community, I believe, adults and children. When the kids see it, the kids learn from it.
Well, they do. And then that means that not only you are the example, but their parents
Absolutely.
are examples as well.
Everybody who wants to be involved is an example. Like Jess said, community is a big family, and I think we need to work on that pretty much
For sure.
worldwide, but we'll stay in Gallup. We'll start here.
in Gallup.
in
Start where you're
McKinley
at.
County,
Right,
Cibola
right.
County.
Well,
But yeah.
there's going to be a lot of great things happening. There will be.
But thanks for
they
having
already
us.
are.
I
They already
really
are.
appreciate it.
So remember, the phone number is 505-409-7764. Just come on down. Now, you have something every week going on over there. What is it, Friday night or Saturday night?
Friday night is Friday evening at 6 o'clock is open arena night and family fun night every Friday. There's games, and might do a little bingo and Monopoly and all sorts of fun stuff like that, as well as an open arena night where people can bring their horses or learn how to do some of the events. We also do a dog training Friday night there at Reawakenings at 5:30. And Matt, Saturday mornings, does his 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
9 o'clock self-defense class there, and a 9:30 dog training there as well. So we're busy all weekend. They can come by any time at any of these events they'd like to participate or check out or just see how it runs and see if they'd want to. They're definitely welcome.
Okay, so remember that if you're interested in getting involved, go down to check out Rockin' J Reawakenings Ranch. And the number is 409-7764. And I want to thank you for joining us for Here, There, and Yonder.
Thank you, Barbara.
man. Appreciate
You're
it.
quite welcome. And wish you well in your endeavors. That this is something that is so valuable and so needed. So we send
Hope
you
we can
off
help
with
some
all kinds of protections around you, and blessings go too.
Thank
By
you.
the way, I should mention that today is 9/11, and so we want to recognize our first responders, always our first responders, our veterans, those that are serving in our military, and all our policemen, our firefighters, and all of those that serve to protect us. So kudos to all of you.